Hello. Welcome to Blaine's Escape Corner, our little corner of the internet where we get to hang out and talk about the things that help us escape. Today, once again, we're going to be talking about anime because that is one of my favorite ways to enjoy my free time is watching a good show, enjoying a bad show, and just in general, sort of going down that Japanese culture through the lens of their pop culture and what they put out and send out into the rest of the world. So we got some more reviews tonight of some shows that we're catching up on. We have yes we do. We have reviews. We also are going to get into the missing panel from Sakura-Con. There was a panel, a description, if I may read it. Cats of anime. Love cats, love anime, want to find out more about cats in Japanese culture? Come to the Cats of Anime panel. Safe for everyone. Sounds great, doesn't it? Sounds wonderful. Sounds like something that I like cats. I like anime. I have a cat. And I have anime I watch and enjoy. That sounds like exactly what I want to do. And so we went on up to the panel. The line stretched around the building. The line went into an overflow line. And that line went on for so long that we weren't sure we were going to get in. We ended up getting in, which was fantastic. And then we sat and waited, and then they announced, "Can't get a hold of the people who are supposed to be running the panel. We are reaching out to them. We're going to try and get a hold of them and see if we can get them in here." Now, if you don't know, the Washington State Convention Center, soon to be the Seattle Convention Center, has no signal anywhere for anyone. So you're not going to call and get a hold of someone at the last minute to try to come in and run their panel. They need to already be there. They need to know where they're supposed to be. So I had a feeling that they wouldn't show up. And I started thinking to myself, cats and anime. I like cats. I like anime. I have a good grasp of some Japanese history. I wonder if I could just ad-lib a panel, could just throw it out there, could improvise, could just jump up and say, "Hey, I know cats, I know anime, let's talk cats and anime and Japanese culture." Kind of thought it'd be fun to get into. Can't just jump onto a panel, unfortunately. You have to have set up a panel and be all ready and approved and good to go to be able to do that. So wasn't able to do it there. However, I have YouTube. So I figured, why not challenge myself a little bit, see if I can do it, see if I can bring about the panel that never was, the canceled panel from Sakura-Con, the panel that I was excited for, wanted to learn about, wanted to see what they thought. I'm going to bring it to you tonight, and we'll see how I do. I'm going on the fly. I have not Googled anything since that idea popped in my head. So everything I say tonight will be Googled either on the fly or will be coming from my memory and understanding of Japan and the trips that I've had there, as well as my personal anime history list. Today, brought to you by Hakutsuru Sake, one of my favorite sake brands. You can always tell it's Hakutsuru because it's got this little crane symbol. You're not going to be able to see that if you're on a phone. let me pull up the Hakutsuru crane here real quick and show you. If you see this brand, if you see this symbol, I can almost without fail guarantee it will be a decent sake. We'll just go to the US one, but this little crane guy here, I love Hakutsuru. They make the Tanuki sake that I love so much. And today we are running their premium sake, which is a Sho Une Junmai Daiginjo. The other day I said I didn't really like Daiginjo. However, that's just because they're a little too refined typically for me. So today's anime discussion is going to be powered by Dai Ginjo, or Big Ginjo, or the very highly polished sake from Hakutsuru. So get some of this in the glass. Let's review the anime we've caught up on yesterday, and then we will jump into cats in anime. So, Kanpai. I've had that one before, so I know that one's good. That is fantastic. Fantastic. Alrighty, where's my anime list? Where'd it go? Escape Corner, anime list. I wish I could sort by ones I recently did. Like, oh, this is the one you clicked up on. Can I do that? Actually, hold on. Let me not filter, sort. Last updated. Bing, bing, bong, boom. There we go. Alrighty. Shikimori is not just a cutie, continuing to be just annoying, just weird. Like, I see it getting a lot of hate online, and I see a lot of people defending it online. I see a lot of people saying, "Man, this main character is so effeminate. Why is they so girly?" And it's like, that's not a problem. Shikimori is allowed to be powerful. She can be strong. She can be good. She can be protective. She can take on that more traditional masculine role. That's fine. It's anime. You do what you want. You can make it. And you get a lot of people that are defending it as, well, you got a problem with women. You don't like when a character shows a bit more of a feminine side. And it's like, no. Hold on. We're at two really weird camps. I don't like it that a main character, or the MC, the protagonist, they aren't doing anything to propel the story. So I have so much trouble calling them a protagonist. Is exactly that. They're not propelling their story. They're not doing anything to move the story forward. They're not engaging the story, and all they are is bad luck. And not in the, Binbu Gamiga, where, one person has really good luck, one person has really bad luck, and they sort of, the antics ensue. It's more just, for some reason, bad things keep happening to this guy, and they're not really in his control. Like, the world just keeps throwing crap at him, and there's nothing he can do about it except have a crazy superpowered girlfriend who can block everything. And it's just a very strange dynamic that is not really, it's not doing it for me. I don't like how passive the character is. And if it was the other way around, if you want to make the straw man argument that I don't like an effeminate male character, I wouldn't like it if there was a female character that was just passively having all this bad things happen. The Klutz character is a background character, somebody who best friend of the main girl, and they they trip and they fall, and it's cute and it's funny, and then they're out of the scene. They're not propelling the plot. They're not the one that everything's circling around. It's like, okay, haha, funny, you trip, haha. That everybody loves a little slapstick humor, and then you move on from it. I'm not a fan of it being this central force. There is one thing that can change Shikimori and turn it into something that I would say, this is a fantastic show, and or a good show, or a really great show with a really boring beginning. That there's one thing that'll fix that. And that's if it turns out that he's got some sort of 1,000-year Tanuki curse or Kitsune curse. He's got a best friend with a snaggletooth, so maybe they're actually a kitsune in disguise, and they're trying to break Tanuki's curse. Like, we get into some sort of supernatural reason for why they are so bad luck prone, or danger prone, or whatever it may be, but right now the fact that that's their only character trait is just kind of annoying. It's like, I want to be better, but the world hates me, and it's like, I can't get behind that. It's not super fun. Next one we updated on, RPG Real Estate. Watch the second episode of that. There's a third episode as well. I went into episode 2 ready to drop it, ready to just say, this This was basically K-On, the real estate fantasy anime. I'm not sure it's really there for me. This episode turned into Heaven's Design Team as far as why I thought it was actually kind of enjoyable to watch. Heaven's Design Team is an anime where a bunch of angels are commissioned by God to create different creatures. And part of the fun of every episode is God sends down a command for, I need a creature that does X, Y, or Z. And then you watch the angels figure out how to build that creature. And the whole time you're trying to guess as to what real life animal they're going to end up creating. And it was a ton of fun. It's good laugh to try to guess what's going to go on there. And in this episode of RPG Real Estate, we get introduced to 3 homes that you never think are very good. They look like no one would want to live there. And then we figure out who would want to live in those homes. So you create this game of, we've got this home that's in a dirt hole. Who wants to live in a dirt hole? And then they come across like a mole monster, for example. And you're like, mole monster, mole man wants to live in a dirt home. So, you know, some of them are a little sillier, a little bit, you know, I can tell you almost right off the bat, once they say what the person is looking for, who's trying to sell it, what's going to happen. And, you know, I'll get kind of bored there. So really going to have to wait on that 3rd episode before I give it a hard drop. However, from episode 1 to episode 2, RPG Real Estate, sort of made a bit of a comeback, a bit of a turnaround there. Was not expecting that to be as fun as it ended up being, considering how boring the first episode was. Love After World Domination. We just have a couple more here that we watched, or that we caught up on. Love After World Domination. If you don't know, this is my anime of the season. I love this show. And part of that is because I have a huge nostalgia factor for tokusatsu shows. I loved Power Rangers growing up. I love monster rubber suit shows. I love that entire area and realm. And so having that paired with what I feel is the this season's version of Marin and Gojo, that best couple dynamic, very fun show, very exciting, really cute, really sweet. We got into the the first official date that they go on, and it was every bit as silly as it was predictable, and that's okay. That's really what you're watching it for. Quite a bit of fun. I rather enjoyed episode 2, and this anime is gonna have to really drop the ball for me to not enjoy an episode. that is for sure. Healer Girl. Healer Girl continues to have very good music, very interesting songs, songs that are in the world, actually like diegetic in nature, and also fully recorded in studio, so they sound really good and they're really well done, even though they are happening in the story. They're actually occurring as you go, and if you have time, that's sort of where I'm putting this one. It's an enjoyable show if you've got time to watch another show or nothing else is currently available. You have nothing to catch up on. I'm gonna keep up with it because I've got the time and I can do that. However, I can definitely say if you are not about it, go ahead and drop that. Watched the first episode of Otome Game. Trapped in a dating sim. The world of Otome games is tough for mobs. In dub, this one dropped, and this is the first. This is the first main character role for Dash Cruz on Twitter. So I decided to check it out, and it is the first episode where that main character is almost exclusively the person talking. So you can get 20 minutes of a voice actor brand new to the main character role. They've had plenty of other roles and side characters, buddy characters, that kind of thing. And then for their first anime being the lead, to have an entire episode that is basically them either monologuing or talking about what's happening in the show. Really a fun jump. I'm gonna keep this one dubbed, just because I think some of the interactions, some of the cattiness between some of the other characters as we move forward is going to come through for me better in an English voice as opposed to in Japanese. I speak some Japanese, but nowhere near enough to understand the subtleties of someone having a little bit of sarcasm or cattiness to their voice. So I'm switching over to dub on that one, and that will do it for updates today. So that was updates with Blaine in Blaine's Escape Corner. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know, what have you dropped this season? What is your top and what is your drop? Those are kind of what we're gonna look at. For me, big top on Love After World Domination, big drop, Fanfare of Adolescence. So we'll see if we add to those drop lists as we move forward. All right, cats in anime. As I said before, this was a panel that was supposed to be at Sakura-Con. We waited in line for it. We waited in the overflow line. We eventually got into the room. And then we were notified that the person who was supposed to be giving the speech wasn't there and didn't show up and didn't respond. And so we weren't able to hear what someone else thought about the history of cats in anime and pop culture, and sort of how that went and how that was an idea in their head. So I am going to, off the cuff, give my own panel right here, right now, on cats in anime. All right, and to talk about cats in anime, we have to talk about cats in Japan and how people in Japan think about cats. And as an animal, one of the first things you'll notice if you go to Japan whenever they open back up is that cats are pigeons over in Japan. Anywhere there's a park, you're going to see somebody feeding an entire group of cats the same way you would see someone feeding a bunch of pigeons here in America. They are everywhere. They keep rats down. They keep, I would assume, pigeons down too. They do a fantastic job at, being a fairly clean animal that is also able to coexist with the rest of the country. Historically, Japan being a very Shinto and Buddhist, cats, of course, like most other creatures, made their way into their religious beliefs. And so in Shintoism, in yokai, you have this idea that when something turns 100, it gains a spirit, or it becomes a yokai. It reaches the next echelon, the if you will. So with cats specifically, they become the Nekomata, and they grow a second tail, and they become Harbingers of Doom, I should say. Pull up a picture of a Nekomata here. We can just use the wiki. Jump into this. We can move me over to this side. There we go. So we got Chinese and Japanese, wherein we have, where is the domestic cat Nekomata, protective sword, growing old, eating people. Where is the twin tail? Appearance of a woman. Bake Neko. Are we learning here as we go? Supernatural cat, often confused with Nekomata. Ambiguous largest difference. The Nekomata has 2 tails. Bake Neko has 1. Yes, okay. So the Nekomata has the twin tails. It is typically a harbinger of doom. It will signal death that is coming. It will be a creature that is going to burn your village down, basically, because you didn't give it food, and it somehow survived for the next 90 years and turned into a Nekomata and was able to then raise the countryside and burn your entire village down. This shifted, as with all things in Japan that are yokai based, from a yokai being a vengeful spirit, a deity that should be avoided, to being a cute, fun creature that brings good luck. Oh, choo-choo train. Hopefully you can't hear that on the audio. And so you have cats, of course, that are in the country. You have cats that are now part of the folklore. And anytime that you have cats that are part of the folklore, they get introduced into story. And so when it comes time for anime, let's now go into see if there's a list of anime cats. Maybe that'll make this way easier. You see that idea of talking cats, of cats that are magic, of cats that have powers coming across. You know, for a lot of us, our first introduction to that was probably Sailor Moon. You've got Luna that is able to talk and grants the magical abilities of Sailor Moon. And why is this not opening? Continue. And they talk. So the Nekomata talk. Some of the first cats that we saw in anime over here at the West, Sailor Moon. We've got talking cats almost immediately. Other talking cats that we run into going to be Meowth, which even though the standard Meowth Pokemon is just saying Meowth, is immediately a talking Pokemon, similar to the yokai that is coming from that. There's a difference. I'm going to focus on cats specifically. Because we have a lot of cat girls in anime where you give a human character cat-like features. Cat Planet Cuties, for example, Blair from was it Soul Eater. You've got cat girls in anime for a lot of the time, and usually that's to give them some sort of character point, but they're not specifically a cat. Whereas we're going to focus on anyone that is specifically a cat. Probably the most human character I can think of that I would classify as a cat is going to be Korin from Dragon Ball Z, where you have a literal giant cat, but they are still a cat. They're a talking cat. They're falling again into that sort of trope of the Nekomata, where they've got special powers. They're a guide. They can help train. They can get you to that next level. And so a lot of the late century yokai tales that came out of the 1900s were this idea of, you do this for a yokai, they're going to give you a present. You do this for a yokai, they're going to give you magical powers. So that continuation from the yokai idea of a Nekomata as a gifter of power, as a helper, as a communicator, as someone that you would interact with, again there with Dragon Ball Z. One of the first kitty cats that I remember from anime, we're going to be going with Gigi from Kiki's Delivery Service, wherein we have a little kitty. No, Gigi talks. Why do I not remember the fact that Gigi actually talks? So you have a witch's cat that also is falling into that they're a side character, and they are talking and they're enjoying time. And I think then for me, one of the first cat characters I was introduced to that didn't talk would be Kilala from Inuyasha. And Kilala's design specifically is extremely yokai. They've got the twin tails. They've got magical fire powers. They can grow and shrink in size. Kilala is extremely based off of that old classic yokai design. We have the cat bus as well, wherein you've got sort of this fantastical idea, almost Alice in Wonderland cat idea, as opposed to it being anything close to the Nekomata or a house cat, for that matter. Let's see if we can find some cats from anime. Happy and Fairy Tail, Puck from ReZero, both modern incarnations of that talking cat Nekomata style. What about older ones? Do we have any older Pokemon designs? Or older Pokemon? I'm so stuck on like Meowth and that idea. We got the Cat Returns, classic anime. Just kind of go through this. Ancient Magus Bride. Okay, where? Let's see if we can find the oldest. Sort by date added. Oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. All right, here we go. List, just a straight up list of cats. Team Rocket's Meowth, Gigi, Frosk, Sakamoto, the Baron from the what is it? The Cat Returns. But you've got in that one still the cats are more of a stand-in for the human character, right? Like there's nothing really specifically cat about them other than the fact that they are cats, right? Poir from Dragon Ball also going to fall into that idea of the Nekomata. And this list is going to give me too many kitty cats. And cat girls. Cat girls, again, classified cat girls is a different thing. You're using cat-like traits to say that somebody's traits are cat-like. You see cat girls hissing. You see cat girls purring. Like they're able to emote and sort of bring on the traits of that. Sphinx from Certain Magical Index, maybe the first cat that I can think of, where it is just a cat, and the cat moves the plot in some ways, and in other ways the cat just exists to be a cat. We've got Doraemon, who is technically a cat. Cat robot gonna be falling into that again idea of the talking cat character, the Nekomata. They sort of can do whatever they want. They aren't bound by being a cat specifically. There are 112 pages of cat characters on this website. Hold on. I want you to see right here, 112 pages. Jumping into this blind is gonna be is gonna be something. But we'll call this a research stream where we're just looking through and trying to figure out how many of these are just cats that sort of hang out. Love After World Domination as a cat character. That's our latest cat in anime. And we have a cat that is a cat as of right now, but has thought processes, and we get to hear their ideas and hear their thoughts and hear them as a cat. My roommate is a cat, right? That was another. Oh, not my room. It is a cat. Let me jump into this one just to make sure I'm remembering this correctly. I remember my roommate is a cat being one of those where the human becomes a cat. Oh no, they are just a cat. And they split the point of view. So we get to hear from the cat as a character as well as from Subaru, the main human, and sort of how they get to grow together, which is an interesting sort of dynamic, because typically you're taking somebody, two characters, and playing them off each other to see sort of how they grow and how they change and how they can improve each other's lives, how they can bring each other to the next stage of whatever the show is, and to have that other person being a cat is a very real thing for people. You can get a cat and you can talk with your cat, and you can interact with your cat, and sometimes that helps you work through things, helps you relax, helps you to be able to interact with the rest of the world a little more calmly. And it was fun to sort of see it from the other side of things, where it's like, okay, so then for the cat that's been rescued, what are they seeing, and how are they interacting with the world, and how have they changed in this instance. But even that's still pretty recent, right? Like, this was 2019 for the anime, 2015 to present for the manga. Give me older cat characters. Who do we have in here? Matcha, Nico, Cat Viper, Banana. Is Banana even a cat? Cat and Banana? I don't know. I don't know if we can count that. I don't know if we can count that cat. Oh, she and her cat. Hold on, did I see she and her cat? Let's read up on this one. She and her cat. Story occurs over the span of a year. On a rainy spring day, she finds Chobi outside and brings him home with her. Chobi falls in love with his owner because of her kindness and beauty. During the summer, Chobi gets a girlfriend, Mimi. Mimi loves Chobi and wants to marry him, but he refuses because he is in love with her. On an autumn day, she has a long conversation on the phone. When it is over, she cries and becomes depressed. Chobi does not understand what the conversation was about or what happened, but concludes that it was not her fault. He stands by her and comforts her. Time goes on and it becomes winter. She continues going to work and moves on with her life. In the end, she and Chobi are happy with their life together and say in unison, I think that both of us probably like this world. That was a 2016 anime and manga with a 1999 OVA from Makoto Shinkai. The anime, not Makoto Shinkai. Interesting. So we have She and Her Cat from back in 1999. Just a 5-minute OVA. Very, very simple, very quick. That same dynamic of a human and their cat sort of just getting through life together. It's a very seemingly common thing. Let's see if we can go. Can we go back farther? Can we find an older cat anime? There was a cat in Cowboy Bebop. Lots of cats in Pet Girl. Pet Girl's an interesting show, that's for sure. Tama from Dragon Ball might actually be just a normal cat. That would make sense. Tama from Benbu Gamiga. Animal Crossing. What kind of search is this? Anime Planet. Get your game on. We can't have video games coming through in our idea. Ooh, a whisker away. Girl turns into a cat. Then risks becoming a cat. And that's sort of a common theme in a lot of the Miyazaki shows. That it sort of follow that same idea, and a lot of these just movies where you have the two worlds, and then you have to pick which world you're going to be a part of. It's sort of the Little Mermaid idea, and so you have a little girl turning into a cat, and then will she stay a cat? Maybe she likes being a cat. Being a cat is X, Y, and Z, and is she going to stick with that? Or is she going to stop and be a human? And once she's made that decision, sort of the follow-up is, does she approve of that decision? Does she continue to want to be a cat after going through and being a cat for a while, and then making a decision one way or the other? Is that going to continue to be the decision that they want? I really wish this could sort by year. Maybe it can, and I'm just not smart with this. It says date added, but it looked like date added was the day they were added to the list, and not necessarily the date that they were their show came out. But let's see, if I do date added and I go all the way to the end, we've got Cheese new address, Canon, we've got a cat, we've got Blair from Soul Eater, Happy, Shamisen from Melancholy, who's just a cat. They just exist. They're sort of a prop almost. I think you really got to get into the Kilala. Yeah, and so I think overall you've got three types of cats that we're seeing as we go through some of this list, and that's the Nekomata type cat, who is a magical creature who is able to talk and grant powers, and is able to sort of help propel the plot. You have the prop cat, who is just a part of who's a cat who is, or I guess we have four cats overall. We've got the prop cat, who is just a cat that happens to be in the show and can be used like any other prop to propel the story forward, like Sphinx in Toraru, Magical Index, and Railgun in a couple scenes. You've got the cat that is just a cat. However, they are a character, like she and her cat. And what was the other one I just had up here? Hold on. It was she and her cat, and my roommate is a cat. Where the cat is just a cat, but they are also a major character. And then you have the fourth, which is the transformation cat, where the person is a human and they have to make a decision if they're going to join the world of the cats, or if they're going to stay in the main world. And they all have their traits. The most basic is the cat as prop. That one, you can have a cat as prop in anything. It could be a space show like Cowboy Bebop, and you just have a cat that happens to be in a scene that Ein wants to bark at, and that propels the plot in some way. You could have it be grounded here on Earth, and the cat is just in the house, and part of an episode is they got to get home to feed the cat. So you've got cat as prop. You have just a couple wherein the cat is a character that is actually propelling the plot themselves as just a real house cat. You've got, like I just said, my roommate is a cat, and she and her cat. And you have these stories wherein it's about how we as humans connect with our cats and are able to get through our life because we have this other little creature that we have to take care of, and that can really draw us into sticking around and making sure that we see to the end of whatever we need to work on. Gives you some form of purpose to help make sure that you're getting done what you need to get done. The transformation is sort of the first time that we can see cats as a major plot device, as well as a sort of unique storytelling element. And I made the Little Mermaid reference earlier, where the cats, whether when you have the transformation, you become the cat, you get into that realm of, are they real normal cats and you're just living life as a cat on the streets? You can introduce some of that. I'm in my cushy human life, and then I become a cat. How is my life changing now that I'm an animal? Now that I don't have a roof over my head necessarily, or they do, they can become a cat and they become somebody's cat. So you can introduce them into another part of their world through a lens that they aren't able to normally see. Or you can have them sort of interacting with cats, similar to the Cat Returns, where the world of the cats is a mystical, magical Alice in Wonderland type world, wherein you're introduced to cats as a different society entirely, with different rules and different things that they're trying to do as they interact with each other. You get cats on walking on their hind legs. You get cats that are again, it is just sort of an introduce or a replacement for some kind of creature or alien society, something that is familiar yet familiar. Why does that sound wrong? Why does familiar sound wrong when I say it? That's familiar and yet has something different going on with it. However, I think your most common cat that you're going to find in anime and throughout the history of manga is going to be the Nekomata, the magical cat, the cat as character, the cat that is talking, the cat that has some sort of special power. To sort of recap what we've gone over, you've got Korin from Dragon Ball Z, who is the cat character with the sensu beans that's able to sort of give the characters that extra little oomph to get them through. You've got Luna and Artemis from Sailor Moon that are talking cats that are able to give the main character the power to fight, to become the Sailor Scouts that they want to be. And then you have the cats that are talking, but they're not necessarily super powered. You have Gigi from Kiki's Delivery Service, who is more just the barometer of Kiki's power. You've got what is the cat from Ghost Stories? What is that cat's name? Kaya from Ghost Stories, who is they're a demon trapped in a cat, and so they can talk and they can interact, and to some extent they help propel the story forward, but they really are just sort of another witty character on the line, as well as the Kilalas, where you've got just sort of magical cat powers, and they're sort of a Pokemon in the group. So Meowth as well would fall into that category of cat as magical creature, I would say. And a lot of that again stems from the old yokai tradition of cats that get old enough and become yokai or spirits that grow two tails. And historically they were malevolent village burners, and as time goes on, as with any yokai, Kappa, for example, started out as baby eating, butt stealing river monsters, and have become sort of a cute help kids not drown yokai. We saw that same thing with Nekomata, where they came into the idea of cats as sort of a protector and a guide and a helper and a gifter and a granter of powers. And that, I think, would have to end my yokai, my cat anime panel. I think that will do it. I think I did well. I think I did okay. Probably only like 20 minutes, to be honest, and then I can say, do we have any questions about cats in anime? What's your favorite cat in anime? Let's see. We've got to have a ranker. Best cat in anime. Okay, here we go. The 9 best cats in anime. Here we go. Let's see what they say. If I do that. Oop. Whoop. Nope. Number 9. Meowth. We talked about Meowth. Technically not a cat, it's Pokemon, but it might as well be a cat. Also talks, got that Nekomata going about. Cat Bus. We mentioned Cat Bus. I find it hard to call Cat Bus a cat in anime since they don't really do anything cat-like other than be called Cat Bus. And they've got the shape of a cat. It's more transportation that happens to be a cat. Blair. Yeah, okay. I guess Blair does turn into a cat. So a little interesting idea there. I find it hard to call her. I guess she is a cat primarily. Kuro from Blue Exorcist. This one I don't know. I'm not a Blue Exorcist knower, to be honest with you. Friend or foe? It's a question people often ask about their feline companions. Kuro starts out as an oversized monster that Rin has to defeat, but when his past is revealed, their relationship changes and Kuro becomes Rin's familiar instead. Kuro begins as a guardian spirit to some nearby silk farmers, but Shiro Fujimoto tamed him. Okay, so we have just a straight up demon cat. Moving into that Nekomata territory. Gigi, we touched on Gigi, how they're talking kitty cat. Shamisen from Melancholy. Here we go with a cat that is just a cat. It's just prop cat. It just happened to be a kitty cat, and they were in a show. The Baron from Whisper of the Heart and the Cat Returns. We talked about the idea of going back and forth between a cat's world. Luna from Sailor Moon. Corrin from Dragon Ball. Look at that. Look at that. I did it. I touched on famous kitty cats in anime, and I did so for like half an hour without having any plan, just jumping into it. Oh, we got an even bigger list. We've got 25 best cats in anime. Let me just look at this one. Sekaiichi Hatsukoi Sorato. Nekotalia from cat from Nichijou. It's just a prop cat. Gigi, we talked about. Corrin, we talked about. Kaya is on this list. Baron, Nekobus, Kilala, Blair, Arthur from Code Geass. Interesting. Yeah, Code Geass even has a prop cat going on. Karupin from Prince of Tennis. Adorable. Looks just like Willy, just a little fluffier. Kuroneko from Trigun. Interesting. Just a cat that just is in Trigun. Luna, Artemis, and Deanna. Neko Gami-sama from Pani Pony Dash. That one I'm unfamiliar with. I couldn't even begin to talk about that one. We got a cat in Azumanga Daioh. Neko Sensei from Princess Tutu. Interesting. That has been a while since I've seen that. I would have to really look that up. Again, Shamisen Happy from Fairy Tail, running that straight up Nekomata. I'm a talking monster flying cat type of kitty cat. Puck, again, talking monster. Kuro, we just learned about. Chomsky from Konosuba, going to be a prop cat. Very fun one there. Onpu from Psyche K. Again, prop cat. Meowth, of course, going to be that Kuroneko that we talked about. And Madara from Natsume's Book of Friends. There's some cats on there I don't recognize. I don't know those kitty cats. That's the question. Drop in the comments below. What is your favorite cat in anime? Do you have a favorite cat in anime? What would you say is an anime cat that really affected you, made you think, man, that cat really made that story work? Because that's always the question, right? Is if you've got kitty cat in an anime that is just a prop, it just happens to be there. Take Sphinx from Magical Index. Does that cat character actually do anything? Do they propel the story in any way outside of cat got out and now we have to go find cat, and then we run into main enemy of this episode? And cat could have been replaced with sprinklers went off because something caught fire in the microwave and we have to run away. Does the cat being there actually mean something? I think it's pretty obvious if you're talking about your Nekomatas, your is the cats of another world cats, and your cats as characters. Very, very difficult to redo the story without them. Obviously with the cats as characters, you could change them out for another type of pet. You could use a dog, you could use a hamster, a hedgehog. You could swap out sort of what the character is. The cats from another world could be any creature, could be actual aliens that are in the other world, so they don't necessarily have to be cats either. Nekomata, probably the only one that really has to be a cat in order to connect with that cultural significance of the yokai, of the here's what cats mean to Japanese history. That's only gonna come from them being cats. And I mean, as far as props go, it's one of those questions of, do we need a cat for this scene? Why do we have a cat for this scene? Did we choose a cat because I know how to draw cats? We heard from Mint Neko this last weekend at their fashion show that they made Mint Neko cats because they can draw cats. They can squiggle out the ears and the face, and they can make some really cute cat designs, and they're awful at drawing dogs. Are cats so popular in anime because animators are more familiar with cats and able to draw them? And does that go to them seeing cats around Tokyo and places in Japan as pigeons, like we opened up with, where you can see entire hordes of cats just sort of circling around somebody, feeding them at a park as you pass by? And does that get you to the point of familiarity where you need a prop, you need it to do a thing, and so you make the cats do the thing? You make the cat be the thing propels the plot in some way or another? Very, very interesting question. Would have to get some mangakas or an animator actually chat with to see what they say their reasoning was for it being a cat. So let's do that. Let's jump in to let's see if we can find an interview. We've got a few different people that we know have worked on cat stuff. Let's see. Makoto Shinkai, why cat? I guess I can start out with the wiki and see if it has any sort of Why are there so many cats in anime is just a Korra question answered by a weeb. In Japan, people tend to have longer working hours and smaller living spaces. Cats don't need much room or care, but they're still playful and loving. They're very popular as pets in Japan for most Japanese people. Having a dog is out of the question. Okay. Cats are just popular in Japan. I want to get into why. Why cats? Ooh, a gathering of cats. Just a 1 minute cat anime. Let's see, what if I do interview? This is just a general. Oshi o Kodomo. Okay, so this is a... Oh, here we go. This is really good. This is following the release of Children Who Chase Lost Voices. And it features a cat-like creature named Mimi. In your first work, 1999's She and Her Cat, also predominantly featured a cat. Would you call yourself a cat person? Do you own any cats? Makoto Shinkai, laughing. Ever since I was a child, I always had cats with me. Makes sense. I'm from the Nagano prefecture, and while living there, I had cats, and after I came to Tokyo, I also picked up some strays and started raising them. So I definitely always had cats with me. If you ask whether I'm a dog type person or a cat type person, I never really thought about it, but I'd say I'm more of a cat type person. And let's just real quick pull up a map of Japan so you can see where Nagano is in comparison to the rest of the Nihon. So here, Japan, island. We've got island of Japan. As we zoom into island of Japan, we have Nagano, the prefecture. So here is this large, see if we can get it to sort of outline. There we go. So Nagano prefecture, outside of Tokyo. Matsumoto Castle right here in sort of the center of it. There is Nagano City as well. This is, if you've ever been to, how would I compare it? It is, cats are the goat. That's hilarious. It's true, Bill. Cats are the goat. Cats are the easiest and most loving animal. That's just how it goes. But you have a lot of mountain in this area, a lot of places where you get just very small towns, and then you have like Matsumoto is a very dense but short town. Like I want to say most of the buildings there are about 2 stories tall, and you get a couple that that run into sort of the 3-story and then some of the 7-story hotels. But for the most part, Matsumoto, fairly small town. Nagano itself, a little bit larger of a town, but nowhere near like a Tokyo. You're definitely looking at a place that's a lot more rural, a lot more of that. You just got cats wandering around because they're wild, they're feral, they're just doing their job. So definitely can see him getting a familiarity with cats, knowing how cats react. You live with cats long enough, you want to move them into your anime. Bill, if you're joining us, I've 4 types of cats in anime. Cats as a prop, where they just happen to be there and you can use them to propel the story forward. Cats that are normal cats, and they happen to be a character, like she and her cat, and my roommate is a cat. Cats that are sort of another world creatures that you may transfer back and forth between as a main character. And the idea is, like, are you going to join the cat's world or are you going to stay in your world? So we have Whisker Away and the Cat Returns that sort of fall into that realm. That's your Little Mermaid cat story, basically. And then you've got the Nekomata, which is the yokai history of cats, where cats are magical and they propel the main character forward and they move them through things. And we just we've been through a whole bunch of different cats in different anime and talked about how they fit into those different mixes. Just sort of shooting this off the fly, and now it's dig into the interviews. Can I find why people decided to go with cats? Does Miyazaki have an interview about cats? Let's find out. Video interview with Miyazaki and a cat. Trails, he's having an interview and he talking about a cat in a windowsill. Kiki's delivery service, props, Nami's aliens, Ghosty Boys. Got it. Exactly. You're hitting the nail on the head. You're hitting it all right there. And all this because we couldn't go to a panel because the people who wanted to do the panel didn't show up. And it's like, come on, if you're gonna sign up to make a panel on anything, show up. You're like, oh, I'm gonna make a cats and anime panel, and everybody waits in line for an hour and finally gets in and sits down, and then we wait around for you to show up and you never show up, and then they cancel the panel and tell us all to go somewhere else. Doesn't feel great. Doesn't feel good. Not great. Not a blast. Not an enjoyable time. Let's just see if I do cats and anime interview. So I'm proving that you could just run the panel without any history. Without any research. This is my research. I'm doing the research on the fly on cats and anime. Do you have a favorite cat in anime, Bill? Oh, we've got Junji Ito. These are got to be prop cats, right? No, he actually made a thing about cats. Interesting. Mario Kata, did she do cats anime? Let's see. What can we find? We can find Control F. That's what we can find. Control F. Cat. How Mario Kata's cats inspired Makia. With the lore of having longer lifespans than normal persons, is there any particular reason between Makia and blah, 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 blah. The fact that I have cats, again, just having cats is why they put cats and cat-like features into a show. Being around cats, having the presence of cats, I sort of called that Kaya in Ghost Stories. Yep, called out Kaya as a sort of the Nekomata, the ghosty boy, of course. A little different than a real Nekomata, because like with a real Nekomata, you've got it was a cat for so long that it grew an extra tail and grew yokai powers and sort of became that next level monster, whereas Kaya is getting infested. What is it called when a ghost takes over your body? What is that called? Why do my words not work? A ghost take over body. Word. Possessed. It becomes possessed. Oh my goodness. There's a delay, so you're probably gonna put down possessed before I get it out there. Anyway, yeah, Kaya getting possessed by the monster. Jaboom boom. Jaboom bum bum. What is that? What is that start? Oh. Kaya Ghost Assassins. I don't know what that is. No, Ghost Stories. Kaya. Possessed. Yep, there it is. I saw that coming. Amano Jaku. That's the demon that possesses that cat. Funny. Typed right when you asked the question. Of course. I feel like there's a lot more of a delay here, but maybe there's not. I like being able to stream and just have whatever I streamed immediately available and ready for people to watch and see, and it's a lot easier to download historical streams and chop them up for highlights and such to throw some stuff together. But I feel like there's a bit more of a delay. Maybe it's because I'm using OBS to make this happen. Maybe if I went straight to YouTube, it wouldn't happen, but I don't know what kind of control I get if I go straight to YouTube. Anyway. Oh, have you been watching anything this season, Bill? We sort of did our anime review and rundown at the beginning of the show. I am in love with Love After World Domination. That show is fantastic. Quite enjoying it. Love me some Power Rangers. It follows a really good, fun romance storyline similar to Dress Up Darling, where you have the two people that are falling in love, and it's cute to watch them be in love with each other, not just like one person pursuing the other. It's very, very fun so far. What else am I? Oh, and Birdie Wing. Birdie Wing is going to be my other top anime this season right now. I watched the first episode because like golf anime. I haven't seen a golf anime, and I played golf, so I'll be excited to see that. And now, today we've got episode 3 that would have just dropped a few minutes ago, but the episode 2, getting into the deep dark underbelly of the golf world, it was just fun, just hilarious, just exciting, and so I'm very, very excited to kind of see where they go with that. I want them to push it. I want the end of this to be like, you've got to get this hole in one, otherwise we're gonna take your finger, or you'll never see your caddy again if you don't get this, you don't throw this game, like get into the evil drug dealer mafioso side of things. I think it's gonna be a ton of fun. I really hope it goes there. If it doesn't go there and it just turns into a boring show about playing golf all of a sudden, then I'll be upset. But for right now, those are my 2 favorite things. Taking the kids through Inuyasha. That is fun. Is the plan to go through Inuyasha and then Yasuhime, or are you just running Inuyasha first? We went through Inuyasha, I want to say about 2 years ago, maybe a year ago. Of course, everybody had some time, so we did it. But
it's a good show. It's a classic. It's one of those that, yeah, you watch it and you understand a lot more references and a lot more anime after enjoying it. So I think it's definitely one that's worthwhile. It's always interesting when you have to go back and rewatch a show in order to introduce someone else to it. I don't, there are shows that I rewatch. I rewatch Evangelion, of course, and there's shows that I've saw that show. I know how it goes. Oh, you're going the way you came across them. So you're starting with Ninja Slayer then, of course, or you've already, I would assume, finished that one. Get into Guyver and Slayers. Those were probably my first two anime that I have memories of. Would be Guyver and Slayers. I think Slayers is kid friendly, if I remember. It may have some silly jokes because of the time it came out, but I definitely remember it being a much more kid friendly show than Guyver for sure. And I still quite enjoyed Guyver. Really had a good time with that. Anyway, what am I up to tonight? Got more shows. So looking at my Annie list. So tonight I'm gonna watch. Oh, this doesn't show me. This doesn't show me if something's available or in it or has extra episodes. How annoying. Of course, so tonight we'll do Birdie Wing, Aharen-san probably. I think there's a new Daemon Recipe for Happiness, this adorable show about making food. Oh no, episode 3 comes out tomorrow. Never mind, not gonna watch that. Don't Hurt Me, My Healer might have a new one. Don't Hurt Me, My Healer maybe one that I dropped this season. It's got a fine line to walk between me being just kind of annoyed with the healer character and me actually wanting to see how the interaction goes to move forward. And something like Konosuba was able to walk that line where you got kind of annoying characters because you kind of hated everyone and you wanted to see them all fail. And so far, I have no real reason to hate the warrior. So right now, it's just like, oh my goodness, this healer is Mendokusai, is a pain in the ass, is not fun, not exciting, not great. There's Miss Shachiko. There's a new one of those. There's another. I think there's a third healer girl I can catch up on. Yep. I can see if Healer Girl is just like a 2-episode fluke, or if it really is good. If it is something that I want to go forward with, I'll go ahead and give Horse Boys a second episode before I officially drop it, just to say that I did. However, expect that one to be on the drop list tomorrow at the latest. Dawn of the Witch has a new episode. I've probably got a good couple hours I can put into shows tonight to see how many are going to get dropped this season. That's for sure. Talked about how Trapped in a Dating Sim, the World of Otome games is tough for mobs. The dub just released, and the dub features Jordan Cruz, Dax Cruz on Twitter. Katie and I interviewed him back on the Blaine and Katie show, and he is now a lead in that show. So went from doing a lot of characters, having a lot of best friends, a lot of number 2 roles. He was like the boyfriend character from Sing a Little Bit of Harmony, and now running lead characters. So super excited for him. So I'm going to follow that show in dub for sure. The first episode is essentially a 20-minute monologue of theirs, because everything in that first episode is all about them. and their experience with the world. So really cool, really awesome to see. Nice when somebody gets into the industry and is able to actually get a role. A lot of times you think about it like with movies, right? Like a star will sell a movie. Sometimes it's like, well, people know this voice, people like this voice, so if I put this voice there, people will just like the voice, as opposed to having somebody else come up. And so I'm excited to see someone else starting to take that stage, because there's a lot of voice actors out there, and there's even more anime. I think there's stuff this season that's probably not even going to get dubbed. So I think there's enough anime out there that everybody could take a lead in their own show, and it would be okay. So I'm excited to see people that are popping off. Excited to see more Spy Family. I am loving that show so far too. That is one that the memes and the internet is behind. And you've got a couple troll accounts that are saying weird things about it. But I think overall the reception of that show is just popping off, is fantastic, and people are quite enjoying it. So I'm stoked for that. I'm excited for more of that show. Not sure when I want to do a retrospective, go into an older show and actually break down into that. Maybe if this season gets a little dull, or we'll drop a bunch of shows, and I'll just have a bunch of time coming out watching shows, and we can do sort of an Inuyasha retrospective or a Slayers retrospective, and get into something that maybe people don't talk about or haven't seen for a long time, and we can dig deep on that. Could be fun, could be not fun. Who knows with YouTube, or with what you want to do. You sit down, you're like, I'm going to talk about this, and then you start talking, and it's like, all right, well, done talking now. Now what do I do? Or you get into it and you're like, man, I really like that show, but I don't have anything to say about it. So we'll see if I can pick something where I'm like, okay, this is a show that I love, and this is a show I can talk about for a long time, which I guess would be Evangelion. That would be the show that I could talk about for a long time, and a show that I like. So maybe we can have an Ava show, move on with our life afterwards, and just really, really dig deep into what propels that show and makes it so interesting and exciting and fun. What hasn't been said about it, I guess, would be the real question. What hasn't been said about that show? I don't know. Oh, this is good though. I'm enjoying this sake. Oh, rando weebs on VR chat? That might be fun. Come up with like a set of questions that we can use to like sort of establish the basis of like are you a weeb? We can really tell, what's your favorite anime waifu, and that sort of, if you ask the question with the right vocabulary, you'll get people in that headspace of anime waifu. You move on from there. Whose VR chat avatar would I have to use though for that? What would I pick? Gundam? Would I just be like a Gundam running around? That'd be kind of fun. That would be quite exciting if I could just be a Gundam running around and asking weebs, stop weeb, what's your favorite anime waifu? Okay, cool. Now that I have your undivided attention, let's talk about it. I like that, Bill. Bill, you're a great mod. You're practically my producer. That'll be a fun one. And then after we got to get through enough videos about anime for the algorithm to understand that I'm an anime-based channel. And then throw in the occasional curveball where we talk to other Bill about building worlds. And maybe, I could couch that in anime. We could run through a bunch of RPG world anime, and then talk to Bill, the other Bill, about building D&D worlds and sort of how they craft things therein, because my experience in a lot of that comes from anime, outside of the summer that I lost unhealthy escaping into MMOs when I was in my sophomore year, and we can get into that story too later. Someone from Genshin, yeah, this entire weekend of cosplay at Sakura-Con was like, who's that? Someone from Genshin, probably. Who's that? That's a cool cosplay. Someone from Genshin, probably. Hey, who's that? And that's Mona. Hey, who's that? That's Hu Tao. Who's that? I don't know. This is Diluc. The Diluc Winery. Master Diluc uses his flaming big sword to bring great wine justice to the world of Genshin Impact. Goofy. I like that show. Or I like that game, but it definitely became quite a phenomenon. So pretty interesting there. I'll be excited to see what I can cut this show down to for just the cat part. Of course, we got the anime update part that I can snip out pretty easily, and then we can see about turning the cat panel into a tight 20 of everything. You were Diluc on VR chat the other day. Nice. Yeah, Diluc is a good character. The fun voice and everything. So that's very exciting. I am going to cut the stream, as opposed to continuing to ramble about future streams. I'll cut it so that I can watch anime, so I can have more to talk about in future streams. And we can meet up again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Actually, put a good solid 2 hours into tomorrow if I can watch enough shows tonight, and then go from there. So thank you for tuning in. It was a wonderful evening. Make sure to comment what your favorite cat in anime is down below, as well as smash that like button, hit share, and let everybody know where to be Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock Pacific time, to talk about anime and how to escape and how to keep it healthy and not get lost in the sauce and find yourself all alone without a cat. At least you could find a cat and then you wouldn't be all alone, and that would help get you through it, like we talked about earlier. So thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to chatting with you tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Hold on. I can't just call it there. I have to give myself another splash. We have to do this right. Kampai.